Oh no, he doesn't look like a Max. He looks like a Lawrence. Now, if you've just started out running, you might have seen all these different terms being bandied around like tempo and threshold. You might be a bit confused as to what they all mean. I'm Anna, and today on the Running Channel, we're going to bust some jargon around different running paces. So what is an easy pace? Well, easy running is the bread and butter of your running. If you're sticking to a training plan, you may have seen quite a lot of the runs written at easy pace. Now this is running at about 60% effort. And we say that because it's important with easy runs to run to how you feel. Don't worry looking at your watch or working out what your pace is in numbers, because what feels easy on one day may feel really hard the other, depending on what other workouts you've been doing. So with your easy running, it's important to make sure that you're still able to chat as you run and it feels comfortable for you. In fact, social runs are a great way of making sure you stick at that easy pace. And with easy running, it teaches your body to burn fat effectively as fuel and also helps increase your aerobic fitness. So if an easy pace is at 60% effort, then think of a steady pace at around 70% effort. It's about increasing that aerobic fitness, getting your heart going, and also getting your body used to running a slightly faster, but not too much faster pace. So you should still be able to hold a conversation at a steady pace, and you might not do too many runs at this pace completely. In fact, what you might find is that you start off running at an easy pace, and that run then progressively turns into a steady pace. Tempo runs can feel like a bit of a technical term, but if we're going to look at percentages with tempo runs, then think about it at about 80 to 90% effort. So tempo runs are the ones that are really going to get your body in shape for race pace speed. Now, it depends on what you're training for as to how long you go out and do tempo runs, but generally speaking, it's an hour absolutely max. It's normally more like a 20 to 30 minute run. So let's talk about threshold. Now this is where it can get a little bit complicated. So some people may use the terms tempo and threshold as interchangeable, but what threshold refers to is your lactate. Now lactate is the nasty stuff that builds up and makes your legs feel really heavy. Your threshold is the pace that you're able to run at and your body can clear that away. If you run above your threshold, it means that your body is accumulating it faster than it can get rid of it. So one scientific way of working out what your threshold pace is to get on a treadmill. Now this involves running at increasing paces, and every time that the pace increases, blood's drawn from your finger until it shows that your lactate has built up significantly. Now this is a really scientific way of doing it, and a much easier way is to grab yourself a heart rate monitor. Some GPS watches have one built in, or you can get yourself a chest strap. Find somewhere flat that you can run, ideally a track or a treadmill will do as well. And what you need to do is run really hard for 30 minutes at a pace that you can sustain but feels difficult. After the first 10 minutes, you need to press that lap button, and the following 20 minutes, well, the average heart rate across that time, that is your threshold heart rate. So you thought running was a simple sport, right? Well, with all these different words being bandied around, it can sound a little bit overwhelming and complicated, but don't worry too much about it. There is something else to throw into the mix when it comes to tempo and threshold though, and that is running at a race pace. So running at the pace that you're planning to run the race that you're training for. So for example, if you're training for a half marathon, you might go out and do a 45-minute run at that pace that you're planning to run the half marathon at. Or if you're training for a 10K, you might go and do a 25-minute run at the pace that you're running the 10K at. Whatever it is, just make sure that if you're sticking to a training plan, or perhaps you've got a coach who set you that run, check in and work out exactly what pace each run means for you particularly. So with these harder paces, what we're saying is that you should be able to only say a couple of words rather than full sentences, and that's the effort you should be running at. Running intervals is where you're running at 90% effort or more. Sometimes this is called speed work and is often done on a track, for example. So the key thing to remember about interval training is to make sure that you keep them consistent. You need to adjust your pace depending on the distance that you're going to be running. So for example, if you're running a mile repeat, you'll be doing that at a slower pace than if you were doing 200 meters, for example. Now this training is great because it means that you're running at a speed that's going to be faster than what you would be racing at, which then can make your race pace feel much more comfortable. Remember, hills can be a great interval session too. Check out our video on how to run on the track and how to run hills on the running channel. Hopefully we've been able to bust some jargon for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.